All right. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have roll, please.
Commissioner Moriarty,
Here.
Commissioner Burke, Commissioner Terrell. Here. Commissioner Dobbs,
Here.
Commissioner Sedgberg,
Here.
Chair Dolzall.
Here. Okay, next up is the consent agenda. Do we have any questions on the consent agenda?
Yes. Part of the consent agenda states down, actually, let me get to this here. In regards to a transportation safety subcommittee, we talked about that. It says here, Chair Dolzall asked that a standing agenda item be added for the transportation subcommittee. They will be be evaluating the Sixth Pierce routes and safety measures. Now, the subcommittee is defined as how? Just people that go in the field? I have a question on that.
Not necessarily. What we did when we set up that subcommittee was we asked for volunteers, and it was basically so that they could go through material specifically. Remember that big thick thing? It was like the municipal code for traffic, whatever. And there was a subsection for schools specifically.
Okay.
And so the intent of the subcommittee was so that they could go through all of that stuff and then bring it to the committee, for then the committee to take whatever measures they wanted to. So it wasn't a decision-making capacity so much as just digging through the ore to find the nuggets.
And who would be digging through that?
The ones that volunteered for the committee.
And where do they come from?
From us. We asked for volunteers at the meeting, and so Tasha and Jim and myself.
Okay, so that was a clarification on, I
Okay.
just wanted to clarify that.
Okay.
So that's a team out of us that's
Correct.
going to that. Okay, that was one question. Communications opportunities were discussed during the commissioner comment of Terrell, which is Tasha. The committee decided to form the communication subcommittee to be added to the standing agenda, which you just explained, right?
Right.
Okay, that's the
Exact same
rest of
thing.
that. Okay, gotcha. Very good. Commissioner Dobbs, that would be me, was informed about methods in which the city addresses speeding concerns. Okay, the committee would like to investigate additional speed radar signage for their next project plan. Did we decide that we were going to investigate the speed signage for the next plan? I don't recall that, and I don't think that statement fits.
I think the conversation had to do with asking for additional speed studies to be done, but not done by us.
Correct. And
The radar speed signs are the signs where you drive past and it shows your speed.
that's right.
Okay, I just want to
Yeah,
clarify
that's
that we're
good.
all on the same page, that you
Okay.
understand what that is.
The committee would like to investigate additional speed radar signage for their next project plan.
You talked about other locations, you're going to look at other locations to put those signs.
Okay, so in your statement, Elena, you clarified that the city staff immediately in a traffic situation of any, we have folks that were talking as a side note on speed cushions, 10 signatures of a neighborhood, which is requesting people to slow down. And you informed us, you informed everybody that the first thing you do that the staff does
Mhm.
is to notify Chief Mendoza on any speeding issue.
Yes,
Okay, that was number one.
yes.
Okay. And then, after that comes portable flashy lights.
The portable speed radar signs.
Right, that's number two.
Yes.
Okay, so these statements, the statement that the committee would like to investigate additional speed radar signage for their next project plan, we're not asking that.
You're investigating locations to where to put those.
We have a street and we've brought streets in for those where people, which are the public have brought those to attention.
So
And-
the ones where the city goes and puts them up are portable signs.
Right.
You guys had discussed putting it in your next project plan to look at the permanent signs that are fixed. Sometimes you'll see them outside of school zones and they stay there all the time.
Those are great. Yeah, we had those put in at the school. The flashing was, we
Yeah,
we
so-
stopped for those. and
So
got
that
those
was
in.
your last meeting. You had discussed locations on where to put those. You're looking at it for your next project plan, which would be your next year's plan.
Okay, so on the statement here about, your statements, were that, number one, the city, executes, information to Chief Mendoza. Then secondly, immediately, you use the word immediately twice. You immediately then go to the flashy lights. And I guess my question is, did you engage this?
For what? I'm sorry, this was about in the general concerns. This was
Okay.
not a specific concerns. This statement is in relation to commissioner comments.
Okay, so commenting on this statement of how it works, it gives us understanding. You state that I was informed
Yes,
about how it works.
yes.
Okay, so nothing is going to deviate from the fact of how this works. When some person, a public citizen complains of a speeding incident or 10 people say, hey, we need something done here, you immediately then engage, by your words, you engage Chief Mendoza.
This just happened last week. Somebody emailed through the contact us form about a speeding concern in an area. And I said, thank you. Here's the form for the speed humps if you're interested in that. And I sent an email to Chief Mendoza to ask them to have officers go down in that area. And then I sent an email to Dawn, if there's a portable sign available, could you please set it up there?
Okay, awesome. That's really cool. That's really great. So that's my question on the statements of how this works, because you defined how it works.
So the minutes are generalizations because the video is recorded and available to the public. It's not going to be line by line. It is just kind of a general overview of what was discussed in the meeting and any decision-making points. So if there's anything on the meeting that you had a vote on, that would be recorded. When the meeting starts, when the meeting ends, who attends. Those are the things that are required to be in the minutes. And the rest of it is just general statements because the video is available online for people to watch. It's not meant to be a transcript for the meeting. Does that make
I
sense?
understand that. That's general information.
Yes.
But it also lays out a response to people that would notify the city on that this is a procedural
Are-
conversation.
Are you concerned about the wording in the minutes and you would like to change that?
The fact that we were going to do a study is, to me, is kind of, the committee would like to investigate additional speed radar signage for their next project plan. And in that definition, what your statement was, is that we're going to find a spot somewhere out there that is a troublesome spot by public's input. Is that correct?
That's what you discussed, is potentially looking at other
Okay,
locations to
so I
put
needed
signs.
clarity on that.
Aren't we talking about two different things, though? I mean, one is areas that the committee's interested in taking a look at versus an actual public comment.
Right, but the point is when the public reads this, when I read it as a citizen, I'm thinking, okay, so the Traffic Safety Committee is out there doing something to find a place to investigate something, which I don't want to get this a whole
You can-
plate of spaghetti here, but it was the thing with
If you
this,
object to the wording, you can request that the wording be changed and then the committee votes on it and you'll update the minutes.
okay, that would be good.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's do
Yeah.
that.
I would, first, I'd like to apologize for being a couple minutes late, guys. Sorry about that. But in the interest of continuing this agenda and the meeting on time, can we please get to your
yeah,
point
that's good.
and move along to the next,
Just
whether
had
it's a
a
motion
question.
or whatever, if you want to correct it, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll correct it, or we'll talk about it. No big deal. Yeah.
Question first. Okay, you're talking about speed bumps and all this. Okay, Tenth
Oh.
Street, Wade Creek.
Let's
Hold
stay
on.
on the agenda.
Right
'cause
now, we're
on
talking about the
minutes.
consent agenda.
Yes,
Do you want to make an alteration to the agenda
to the
at
minutes.
this
the
time?
minutes.
To the minutes at this
Yeah.
time?
Okay, the correction here would be that we don't have an assignment to go out and find a place for signage. That implies this. The committee would like to investigate. I don't see that happening.
So what's the change that you're wanting to make?
If you just want to remove that last line,
Yeah.
that's fine. Okay,
Take it out.
Okay,
that's fine.
so
Easy peasy.
make a motion for that.
Yes.
I make a motion that we remove that last line.
So can you make a motion to approve the minutes and remove with that last line removed?
There you go.
I make a motion for that, yes.
Does
Okay,
that work?
Is
yes, that works.
I moved that we remove that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Where,
I did not print off the fire chief's report because it was like
It wasn't
20
new.
something pages and yeah.
it wasn't new.
Okay.
September, right?
Yeah, it was the same stuff.
September.
I'm looking for my agenda. I just had it. It can't have gone far.
You have American Red Cross training is next on the.
Is that
agenda.
next?
Yes.
This is ridiculous.
Here,
No, can I look at yours?
absolutely.
Thanks.
There you go.
And then Elena, going forward, when we're making our summaries of minutes or whatnot, let's just take a look to make sure that whatever transition point or whatever we're trying to capture
Got
there
that
is
one, and
clearly stated going forward, please.
I can't believe it.
there you go. That's one.
No, no, I just need to.
If we clean up that language a little bit, that will save us 10
Okay.
minutes of question.
We had actually discussed as staff not doing minutes. And just because the video, legally, the video fulfills the state requirement for minutes.
Okay.
And
All
maybe
right,
that's
so-
the easiest.
I've got an
We'll take a
agenda,
look at that with council.
got an agenda in front of me again. And so Chief is not going to be here, so we'll skip until January.
Yep.
Fire Chief's report is not new, so we will skip. And so next is the American Red Cross training. And so what are the updates with that? Heath? Do you have updates?
We have got quite a few people that have signed up, so I believe we've got 15 right now, if my counts are
Nice.
correct.
Awesome.
What's the next, Elena, do you remember what the next level is? Is it? It's,
So for us to have a second instructor, it was 12 and up. And then if we get above 24, we'd have to get another instructor.
okay,
But I don't think you have enough, I haven't done the math, but I don't know that you have enough budget to cover that many.
What is it?
Up to 24.
I think we're good at 24.
Yeah,
That would be the remaining $1,809.
yeah. So your budget right now includes the additional training, which is the up to 8, and then the additional attendees. And
Okay.
so you have $1,809 left in
Okay.
your budget.
Actually, is it okay to back out for a second? I didn't have the agenda and I skipped community comments.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have any community comments?
Nobody,
Anyone
out
online,
forms?
anyone in person?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's the table? What happened to the table. Can you get her
Yeah, the table was,
our microphone?
but the table had to for the event. Thank you.
That's okay. So I was told by, I think his name was Jim. I've met him before. He usually comes to these
Hi.
meetings.
I'm Jim. Yes, that's me.
You weren't gonna-
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Melissa Dominguez. I was just told that I could come here and express my concerns regarding South Eagle Creek Road, where the speed limit is supposed to be 25 miles an hour. But a lot of people probably are going about 40 miles an hour on that section. And I've noticed the speed limit changed from, I think it was 35, then it goes to 25, and then it just continues on to 25 all the way down. That was recently that I've noticed, but I don't think people see that little sign that says 25 on it. It's very small, maybe, that's their reason for not going 25 miles an hour down that street, but try getting down that street and it's terrible, especially now with all the apartments being built right there. They're speeding a lot. So that'd be a good place to put some kind of a light system maybe, or more sheriff's presence. And that really slows them down, but I don't know. So that was I just wanted to state that and my concern. Do you need anything from me?
Thank you.
What was your, okay,
No problem.
what was the street you're describing?
South Eagle Creek Road.
Okay,
Right where
with-
the-
coming in to town.
Coming into town.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yep,
I don't know the north, south,
Yep.
east. or west, but yeah,
She's talking about the transition right there.
Right.
from
yeah, when it goes,
past Eagle
right, exactly.
And when did those signs go up? When did they make that transition?
Recently.
recently, within the last couple of weeks. So as you've seen, it has got slowed over. The county finally turned that over to us and gave us the city that gave us that section of road back, right? So we were able to then adjust the speed limits and bring it down, as you've seen. And if you're going towards Eagle Creek, you'll see now, rather than just being 45 straight up, it's
55.
40 now, and then it steps up
Yeah.
to 45
Mhm.
when you get past Deuce and stuff like that to
Mhm.
adjust it. The idea there is there's conversation about a roundabout right now coming at the River Mill section, which is going to slow that down more with the density of housing that's going in behind there as well, and the volume of traffic as it increases, right? So you will start to see it slow down quite a bit. And I understand your frustration entirely because I live in Campanella, so
Yeah.
I can relate with you. However, I'd ask you just to hang in there and we'll definitely take more looks at how we can make that, maybe we'll ask Deputy Bigler to make a special appearance for a little bit there, just to remind people of the change, but please know that we're actively working on this and I appreciate the comment.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, I have a comment on that. It's 25 mile an hour sign's there, but when there was a 45 mile an hour sign taken down by somebody and the 25 mile an hour sign was supposed to go on that pole, but that isn't there. That needs to have that other 25 mile an hour sign, the first one. Because when you're coming off River Mill, you've got a good 200 feet before you see the 25 mile. And there was supposed to be one in between that and it is not there.
Yeah.
They took it down, but they didn't replace it with the 25. Okay?
With that, Shirley, I'd just ask that you call Dawn or forward it up. Jim's pretty good about just calling Dawn and getting that kind of stuff corrected with signs and stuff.
Well, I've left a message, so. Good.
And thank you for coming and relaying that to the committee tonight. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Right. Hi, I'm Larry Geyer, and my
Hey,
wife
Larry.
and I, we live at the end of Lawrence Road, right where the Fred Meyers is going in. And I've noticed some things interesting about Lawrence Road. Yeah, first off, the end of Lawrence Road where they came in and tried to widen it. I don't know where they put the new drain pipe in. The buses have a terrible time there. I don't know what the rules are about buses and what the roads need to be like, but there's no way that bus comes off of Lawrence Road either way without going all the way into the other lane. No way possible. The curbs are another problem with the buses coming through there.
It's opened up, it was supposed to be an emergency access only, is now open for that whole development to come out onto Lawrence Road. So any more development or any more access to Lawrence Road, I think is going to be just a disaster. Now, my understanding too is they're going to be putting a water reservoir up off of Lucky Lane, is it? And they're going to be running the pipe all the way down through there. There was some mention about an improvement on an intersection on Lawrence Road, and I don't know exactly where that's talking about, if that's in that area. But I just think it's really time to look at Lawrence Road, maybe go up and see it and see it's not ready for any more development than is already on there, especially with the school buses. They come all the way down to where my property is. They have to back into my property to turn around and go back out. So that's all. I know development has to happen, but I think that slowing down wouldn't be a bad thing. So I appreciate you guys letting me talk.
Thank you, Larry.
So do you want to address that? Because didn't the county?
Do you want to watch the videos, show Larry, or?
Larry, I think a lot of years there of the mess of that road and how little it is for the traffic. Been out there a lot. Our liaison pushed through to Clackamas County and got what happened to happen. And that's all they can do. And it's going to be the dollar bill. And they did what they could for responding. And yeah, I went out there with the tape, checked Gemini, checked the radius, tried to get that so that that bus would turn and not go into that other lane and not plug it up like a cork in a bottle. We did everything we could for the space there with the monument setback with the owner of the property. They fudge factored that thing over. It was like the best Band-Aid they could do. And that's what we had. That's what we got done. And we got it done pretty quick compared to all the time that it was complained. And I thank Jonathan for pushing this thing through and getting Clackamas County to, excuse me, to come on board and do all this. And that's all they can do at this time. It's going to take a wider road. And because that flux of traffic is going to be big, especially for what's coming.
Just to complete that, though, it is part of the transportation system plan. They actually upgraded the need at that particular intersection because they see it coming too, and that has been a barrier, is the fact that it's not something controlled by the city, and so that's why they needed to do what they could right now. But it is part of the transportation system plan to significantly change that intersection, whatever that looks like. And as more data comes in, that could, I suspect, change the importance of getting that done sooner rather than later. And that's one of the functions of this committee, is to hear that sort of stuff so that we can then feed it to the city and the city council. But I assure you, I actually happen to have a copy of the transportation system plan with me today for some other thing. And it's in there, and it's been upgraded from what it was originally. Because we see it too. And in fact, they've talked repeatedly about, the contortion school buses have to do at that intersection, and then people cutting corners and damaging the pipes and that sort of stuff. And frankly, we were feeling like it was a big win just to make it just a little bit better, but it's certainly not where it's going to need to be for the traffic that's going to come out of that intersection. I drive it myself once in a while because I normally don't get out that way, just to see what the latest is. And it just blows my mind that I can drive all the way to Deuce Road from this side of town without getting on the highway. But that's what it's like with all these communities now. So I can't speak to timelines or anything like that. But I do know that it's definitely on the radar, and it's definitely increasing in importance.
Yeah, I'd like to comment on that too, if you don't mind, Chair. And this just simply comes because this has been a passion project, if you will, since I got on. and I became the liaison specifically for this committee. And what happened is you ran into on the right side, if you were to be leaving Lawrence to like turning to go towards the high school, you run into that telephone pole there on the right side that's on the edge of the property line. And short of moving the telephone pole, there's just no more give on that for that swing. So what those guys did is they moved that collection point over as much as they could and then kind of fudged some of it over with the shovel to give it an asphalt appearance
Right.
so that it's a cleaner look and it's less likely that like a vehicle or a truck with like a pickup trailer or something like that would drag it off that edge. But that's as much as they can move that currently without, you know, again, without getting PG involved and things like that. As far as the S curve, then you get into, I believe that's on the state thing because of the bridge there and the curves that you're speaking to, and that'd be on the state's transportation plan. That is not our road though, currently. So I would love to tell you, let's attack that because trust me, I agree with you. That is definitely a hazard and so does everybody that lives on that road. But unfortunately, some of that stuff is just not ours to make decisions with currently.
I'm surprised the school district lets the buses turn as they do. It's gotta be, I don't know if it's legal or not, but it's dangerous. So I appreciate you guys letting me talk.
Of course.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, let's get back to Red Cross training. Were we done, Heath? It looks like we're gonna try to max out at 24. We'll make that a hard number. And not worry about adding any additional. Does that sound reasonable, Heath?
I believe so. So we've got 16 confirmed right now.
That's great.
Awesome.
That's really awesome. Just a comment that, you know, this is our first throw at, you know, doing some kind of community training and to have it look this successful is very gratifying. Anything else you want to say about the American Red Cross training? Heath?
Not currently, but it looks like it should be a good event.
Okay.
Excited for it.
Okay, next up then is the Civics Academy. The Civics Academy, if you're not aware, that's is it a 6-week program starting mid-January? You want to,
Yeah, it's a 6-week program starting mid-January, once a week meeting for 2 to 3 hours, depending on the meeting, where each meeting covers a different topic such as, you know, city operations and budget, land use, public works, emergency management and public safety. So there's a variety of different ones, but the last one is all about engagement in committees. So it's about ways that people, the citizens, can get involved on a regular basis. And so each committee has been asked to prepare a slide or two to present at the Civics Academy. If you guys don't want to present it, Ellie, who is our rare AmeriCorps member, is willing to do the presentation. She just wants to make sure whatever is included on that slide is what you feel best represents you and what you want the public to know.
thank you. So, what we're looking to decide right now is, you know, I won't be on the committee in February 20th when the date is. And so I'd be happy to explain the function of the committee if that's what you want, or if there's someone else that is interested in going ahead and doing that presentation at the Civics Academy. And also then someone, either I can do it or someone on the committee, which would probably be more appropriate, deciding what they want on those 2 slides.
We're gonna have the election for the new chair in January. I guess that can decide it too.
Right.
Problem solved.
Just putting it out there. So we'll just table.
Unless you want to be there too. I don't want to.
Yeah. Well, I signed up for the class. I thought it'd be a quick, easy way to figure out how the inner workings of the city stuff works. So I'm going to be there anyways.
Okay.
But so table it for January meeting.
Sure. Yeah. Do you want to, and that's not on your agenda, but you will have 2 openings. Do you want to wait to elect the new chair until you fill those openings, or do you want to elect the new chair in January? Up to you
January.
all.
We'll wait.
Okay,
Till
and
January.
until you have the openings or until you have
No, I
it
mean, so
filled?
we,
You'll do it in
next
January.
meeting, we can decide and get someone.
They want to table that decision too.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Thank
No,
you.
I didn't expect you to make the decision today. I just wanted to know to put on the next agenda or not.
Thank you, Elena.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, next up, school district safety areas of concern.
I met with Mike Ware, who is the school district operations manager, and then Sarah Lawson, who is their their transportation director. This was more in relation to the Thriving Communities Grant, which we are partnering with them on. But a lot of these are areas where I think you guys could help them out too. There was some things that I didn't star them here, but that they said this is things they'd like to address like ASAP. One is 6th and Broadway, and I think we all know that's an issue. And then the other 2 that you guys hadn't talked about, the city wasn't really thinking about, is that the new Wade Creek apartments have significantly increased pedestrians. So youth are crossing the street right there, and there's not a crossing walk. And so they would like us to put in a crossing at Liberty, and then maybe when the new other apartments, the Wade Creek Phase 2 is finished, the year after that, put another crossing up Hillway area. They're across Eagle
You
Creek.
said Liberty?
Liberty.
Yeah.
That's Campanella, right? Okay.
Yeah. So they're crossing from the apartments towards Campanella, and then they'll go down to the school.
Can I comment on that?
Let me hold on one second. It was in that discussion that I looked through the packet. Remember that big thick thing that we got? And I looked through this section about school zones specifically, and the very first thing it said was a school route plan developed in a systematic manner. And so I asked Elena if there was such a thing, because I went looking through the transportation system plan and I didn't see the map that I was looking for. Elena corrected me, and actually on page 79, there's a list of high priority safe routes to school projects. So there's a list there. Then we got the list from that Elena got from the school officials. And in that list, or rather in that information that Elena got, there's also an action plan for the Estacada Middle School and for the 2 elementary schools. There are 16-page documents. It has to do Safe Routes to School is, I believe, a state
Yes.
program. And I'm assuming there's state funds available for that sort of thing.
Yes. So there's state funds available to apply for grants for Safe Routes to School projects.
And so originally, last meeting, we tasked ourselves for looking at that one particular crossing section. And at this point, I think it's a good idea to go ahead and pursue that. But then this information, there's a lot of it. And so distributing that to the committee so the subcommittee can start looking, so everyone has a copy of it, but so the subcommittee can start looking through all the different options available. Reason being is that we were working on using just city funds to do this intersection or that intersection. But if you've got a state grant program, that may open up a lot of additional funds. And it's basically just a list of all the different projects that we could then pursue and research. And so it seemed like a pretty nice nice way to go about things. So comments on that?
You just had go ahead.
Go ahead, Shirley.
I'm talking about the crosswalks on what you're talking about up
Mhm.
there. The main crosswalk that needs to be put in is that between the library and the park. There's no crosswalk there. There's one on 6th, there's one on 10th, but there's no crosswalk in that area where all the kids are. the kids for the library, the kids for the park, the senior citizens that come across the bridge to catch the bus. There's no safety there.
Oh,
And the senior
Like by
citizens,
Altamar,
huh?
by Altamar? The
Okay,
entrance
by
to the mobile home
airport,
park?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
right there. And there's been a couple senior citizens with walkers almost get hit
Okay.
because there's no crosswalk there. Traffic is kids, and that's what we need.
Jonathan?
So speaking in the interest of the city council and kind of how we tasked, it kind of comes full circle back to where we started this conversation at the beginning of the year with the heat treat and, you know, the heated vinyl and different options like that. But this could be a gift horse if we look at this in the right way. I think what would be effective and what would help us to expedite this a little bit is if it was packaged in a way that it was presented to the council in a manner that would identify, say, a pretty good complex list of things to start with this surrounding that. And I would maybe even look at incorporating that S curve that goes around the River Mill parking lot into that, right? We know that the school owns the parking lot, but I've been thinking pretty creatively lately on how can we do about that. Just, we don't own the parking lot. We're not going to be able to restructure the road. Got to get over that. But what we can talk about is what we can do. And that's maybe we brighten that up with heat treat or something. Let's look at our options to make that road stand out, make it very clear that that's a school area with parking for pickup and drop off, something that's vibrant and speaks, and it's overly abundantly clear that it's a safety zone. That would be a great opportunity to wrap all that up and then present it in a way that we could maybe then look at tasking city staff to go after funding.
Jim?
I just have a question on some of these, because I know,
It's just a generic kind of bullet list, so.
right, but I
understand you
mean,
might
a
have
lot
more.
of these we have talked about.
Yep.
Dating back 11 months.
Yep.
So my question is, funding other than city funding
So
is coming to the school district? Or is
So-
it the city? Because we
this-
can knock out a lot of these if it's, because we have a lot of goals that are the same as the school district.
we do have a lot of overlapping goals. So while I gathered this list is for our Thriving Communities grant, in which we have technical assistance from the Federal Department of Transportation, and they will come down and evaluate some of these areas for us. So they'll do the kind of engineering portions. So they won't necessarily give us money to build it, but they could do like the pre-engineering studies and the traffic studies that we would need in order to apply for the grants.
Okay, so my question is, we've done reviews and we've asked the city to go forward on some of these.
Yeah, on some.
And we have not gotten any feedback on these intersections.
So a lot of these intersections are in the transportation system plan, which is the plan that we work through.
Right.
As we're moving forward each year when we're budgeting funds for transportation improvements.
Okay.
So there's going to be overlap between the transportation system plan and what's on this list.
Do you know how much money can be allocated to this list?
I don't know each year. I mean, we
Okay.
have the constrained, if you read the transportation system plan, the constrained funds
Okay.
list was what we said would probably be feasible to be completed within the next scope of time.
Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, we had a bunch of these on our radar
Yes.
for the last 11
Yes.
months. Were we able to spend it through the city, or are we waiting for funding from county, state, or federal?
So some of it
That's my
is,
question.
yeah, some of it is we can use city funds on certain things
Okay.
that we have used city funds, like we've done intersection improvements with city funds. But most of the time, the city leverages its funds to apply for grants. So we apply
Okay.
for, we've reached over 5,000. It's no longer small city allotment, but there's another grant process that we go through the state, and we will leverage our funds with that in order to be able to complete projects. And then there's the Safe Routes to School is another option that we can apply for that grant. And then we do some of these projects. I don't know about these specifically, but some projects can be done with developer funding. So it'll be a work of the developer when they come into.
Okay, thank you.
I do want to comment though that found out about this today. You know, this safe routes. And I guess it's been around since 2017.
That was developed in, 2017.
Yeah, and so it's kind of dovetailing with your comment. These are things that we've been looking on, and this would have been a great resource to know about beforehand. But we have it now.
We have it now.
Okay, so plan of action. Go ahead.
Can we, Elena, can you make a note and can we maybe look to have Dawn just give us an update in January on where we're at with the list that was provided to him on certain traffic things so that we're getting into goal setting season. That will
Yeah.
give these guys a chance to look at all of that and put together some realistic goals and kind of see what we were able to accomplish this last year as well.
Also, actually, and maybe Don's the guy for this. This was the what the map looked like, and it's a generic map, but this is what the map looks like in that MUT, whatever that big manual is.
Yeah.
And it's very helpful because it's just a quick eyeball on where they wanted to do stuff. This is for, I think it's Clackamas River Elementary. This is what the map looks like.
There's another map.
Well, where I was going is a comprehensive one for the area covering the 3 schools.
I believe if you look at the maps that they're all the same, the second map.
Well, there's this, so I see this map that's photos. And again, it's just so that we can quickly eyeball stuff. We can quickly decide, let's do this phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, that sort of thing. Because also with the growth in the new neighborhoods, there's a lot that we just don't know yet. There may be and
So
there's
are
different.
you on
This is
safe route?
Clackamas.
Are you at Clackamas River Elementary? Okay. It is page 12, which has the 10-minute walk bike routes.
That's the one I'm looking at.
Okay,
That's page 12.
okay.
And so there's just I'm just seeing or asking if it's possible to get a little more comprehensive one, incorporating the 3 schools on one map.
This was developed by the school district, so I can ask them if they have that.
Okay.
But I think it's the same for, that is pretty much the same for all of the schools. The map doesn't change significantly between the schools
Was
because
it the same? I didn't.
they're all in the same vicinity. So you're not going to see a significant difference on the 10-minute walk, 4-minute bike pathways between, Estacada Middle School and Clackamas River Elementary because they're right next to each other.
Right.
So it's pretty much the same map.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it now and yes. Well, the River Mill's different, but to be expected. Plus, there's a lot of stuff missing. But just an opportunity to update and just a 1-page resource.
Yeah, I'll reach out to
Okay.
the school.
All right. So how to proceed? We've got the one intersection that we were talking about last. We can continue to move forward with that. That's the Pearson 6th. And then we can set up a framework to use this new information moving forward to develop, like Jonathan was talking about, to develop a recommendation to the city council. So let's deal with that part first. What sort of information would we like to get from the city? Additional information, if any, before we move ahead as a committee to start looking at developing a phase 1 list, phase 2 list, phase 3 list.
I'd like to get more information on the River Mill School District, area and what's actually gonna bring safety to that school because it's the only school that doesn't have any safety features. It doesn't have flashing lights. It doesn't have speed bumps. It doesn't have anything. Kids are on their own. That's my number 1 priority, and it always has been, is that River Mill School District.
So that
School area.
actually is the map that's the least
Yes.
comprehensive too. So that sounds like a good plan. For the next meeting, getting more comprehensive or additional information
Maps would be good, like you said.
Yeah,
Right.
I can have maps. It might be helpful, and I will reach out to the school district if the school district operations director or their transportation director attend your meeting so that you guys are talking to each other rather than going through me.
Yeah, well, it's
Also, if you're looking to apply for a Safe Routes to School, it requires a 40% match. So that would be, so the city would have to have that 40% funding.
Okay,
So
So
that there's
first things
going to be
first.
a budgetary constraint on your projects.
right. So first things first, we'll develop a list of projects. And then as that starts to develop, we can start working on ways to pay for it.
I would say invite the school representative, the proper representative, whether it's operations, Mike Ware, whoever their transportation officer is as well. Invite them to a meeting to sit down and have a conversation maybe, and then discuss it more formally about how we could support each other.
Okay,
That'd be good.
that sounds like a great idea.
Especially with the amount of overlap that's in some of this grant work. It'd
Right.
Be really great to be, you guys ensure that the city's vision and the council's vision is seen. And then, but also hear what the school district needs and support from us.
Okay, can we go ahead and do that?
Yeah, I will invite them to your meeting in January and see if they're available.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent.
I'll save this for later. Okay, so then the item on the table right now is the Pierce and Sixth crosswalk. And ideas. I was thinking it's almost like it's the third of the crosswalks. There's the one at Broadway and Sixth, and then there's the one at Main, and then the one at Pierce. Why not
Right.
make them all the same?
Right.
all flashing.
What, are they identical, or the two, are they the same? So
No,
make,
the ones at Main and Broadway are the new versions, like out here at Fourth and Main. And the one at Northeast Pierce are the old ones.
no, understood, meaning the two that have the flashing lights, are those two the same?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yep.
just making the Pierce one the same as those other two.
And while we're still talking about this, Northeast Shafford should have one that goes over to the high school also. Because definitely have, kids and exchange students and granddaughters, and kids don't cross in crosswalks. They don't. So we don't want them to go down to Pierce and have to cross. We'd like to have Shafford as another area for them to go across along with Pierce and the main one at the high school and Main and Broadway. So we have all of them uniform.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that because that's people coming around the corner and they're flying.
Coming down
And
Coupland.
yeah, and I was thinking about ways to address that with larger signage or something like
Right.
that. So what do you think about saving that intersection to deal with that separately, but move forward with our recommendation for Pearson Sixth?
Good with that?
And so
Is it just crosswalk? Are we doing
we'll make
pedestrian
it
sign,
the same as
just like in front of
Same as the other
Clackamas
two.
River Elementary? Will everything light up in front of the
same as
junior
the other
high?
two.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
make all three look the same.
Press buttons.
So do we need a motion for that, or is that something we send to the council?
You have that one going in by Big Jim's as well. To
Sixth
think
and
about that,
Broadway.
Right.
that's the one that's upcoming. Remember, they had the pole, but something got messed up or something like that.
That's
So-
right.
Oh, yeah.
So legitimately, you're about to have another one on that street that you can use for emphasis. And I'm
Okay.
sure that will be your most current working model. So maybe look at mirroring that if you're looking at uniformity purposes.
Right.
Okay.
You can make a motion and recommend it, and then we'll see if there's room in this fiscal budget, since we're more than halfway through the fiscal year.
Okay.
If not, you'll have that wonderfully put together for your goal setting meeting coming
Yep,
up.
for
So
the next.
You'll be
fiscal
ahead of the schedule.
So make a motion for Northeast Pierce.
Yeah, Northeast Pearson Sixth.
Okay.
You have any idea what we just said?
Make a motion to recommend crosswalk, pedestrian sign, push button, solar lights, the whole thing, just like Clackamas River and in front of the junior high, to be located at Northeast Pierce and 6.
I second that.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you.
Great.
Next agenda item is the subcommittees. So the event subcommittee, that would be National Night Out. Heath, any updates?
Nothing to present on that at this point. We're still a little early, but we should start looking at making our list of attendees in the near future so we can make sure they have time to plan for it.
All right, thank you. Communication Subcommittee. Tasha, any updates?
Well, I think we should form one. And,
Didn't we?
did we?
Yeah.
For
Okay.
Facebook and.
I thought we were gonna
all that
talk
stuff.
about it more.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah. we were
okay,
gonna
well
talk
then
about
let's do that.
it. Okay.
So the idea was to improve our
Communication with the,
communication,
with the
social
public.
media
On
and
the
the-
city
on the
website.
city website.
Right.
And so we were going to form a subcommittee to come up with ideas and that sort of thing, then to present to the full committee and then present that to
Okay.
the
And
council.
is it topics or things that come up?
It's
would it-
whatever,
Yeah, would it be helpful for me to explain how other committees do this?
yeah.
Okay, because you seem a little lost. Such as the Downtown Estacada Commission, they will discuss what they want topics wise at their committee, and then they have a person in the subcommittee write it and email it to their staff person. And then their staff person posts it on Facebook and post it in the newsletter, et cetera. So the committee as a whole is just coming up with the topics. They're leaving the creation of the content in those topics to whomever is on that subcommittee. And that includes, if you're wanting to post on like Facebook and Instagram, you need to create those graphics too that need to go with that.
Okay.
Okay.
So if we have local crime investigator hardware, we can forward the pictures and things that the business has done, and we can put it on ours to identify someone.
And then I expect that there's going to be some sort of screening for what we can appropriately put up on.
Yeah, so it comes to me as your staff person, and then I will review it to make sure that it's not violating any of the city's communications policies.
Okay. So then really it's the subcommittee person would just be the one that's responsible for submitting the material to the
Mhm.
city after the council's talked about it. Is that what? That sound right? Okay. So then, do we have someone that would like to volunteer to be that person? I'm looking at you, man.
I mean, I'm pretty good with social media, so
Okay,
I could do that,
Thank you.
starting like at the beginning of the year, maybe just
Yeah.
over the holidays and.
so then as the committee, then it would be every meeting when we get to that portion of the subcommittee part. If there's anything that you want to put on the city page, bring those to the meeting to discuss in the subcommittee portion. And then anything that we decide to move forward with, Tasha can then send that to the city. Sound like a plan?
Mhm.
Okay,
I'd like to just make a note, more for suggestion purposes, just because, one thing I really pride myself on is this committee. Because you guys do a lot of meaningful work. So with this, if we're going forward with this, this needs to be dialed, the best representation of us that we can. So it needs to be done with consistency in mind, of schedule, or whatever that may be, whether that's themes and different things, whether like school routes and however you want to do that, whether it's once a week, once a month, whatever it is, deliver the community consistency with this, please.
You know what might be helpful, and Tasha, if you're okay with it, is inventory, what's on our site right now. I don't know if everyone's had a chance to actually go onto our site and see what's there, but actually inventory what's there right now. So we've got a baseline, a starting point. Does that make sense? Okay, that'd be great. Any other comments on the communication? Okay, next item is Transportation Safety Subcommittee. Before I hand it over to Jim, I did want to, I said I would go ahead and take a look at speed bump policies in Portland. The context was on steep hills, what traffic calming measures do they use? And there wasn't much in the city. The one thing I found, which I can send to Elena so that she can distribute so everyone can take a look, is pretty old, almost 30 years. And it was for arterials. It wasn't for smaller roads. And so I'm not sure how much help it was, but they did list some approved devices, and it's all, frankly, it's all things that we were already talking about. Diverters, speed bumps, chicanes, pinch points, all that sort of thing. So I didn't find anything different, and so I can't explain the streets that you were talking about. There was just nothing in the city policies or whatever that explained what they do. But I also I got the distinct impression that they let neighborhoods just kind of they just come up with stuff. So, but there's no written policies or anything like that. So other than that, any other transportation safety subcommittee business?
That's
Jim?
not holding up any speed hump applications, are they?
No, no.
Has there been any communication with the neighborhoods that have been denied or contacted?
You submitted the one for Oakview.
Right,
And that's the only one that has been reviewed. And then we sent the alternate speed information on to the engineer.
okay,
And we had an initial conversation, but I'm just waiting for report back from
okay.
him.
Have
So
you, oh, sorry. go
I
ahead.
don't have anything. It would have been on your agenda if I had anything. And then the other neighborhoods, we're waiting for them to get signatures.
Did you have anything from Northeast Pierce? Because I know that was submitted
Yeah,
before.
that was submitted, and then we asked them to get the signatures, and that's what we're waiting on, is them getting the signatures. They did not submit it with any signatures.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Because that one looks good. It is a nice flat slope. That one would probably get approved. I mean, we've tentatively already talked to the fire district and the school district, and
So,
Pierce looks good.
good news.
But they need to get the signatures from the people on the street so that they make sure that they're okay with having speed bumps on the street.
So they
with
just
this
have
one.
to fill out the one with the 10
Yes.
signatures on it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all we're waiting on for that
Okay.
one.
I will reach out to them, let them
Okay.
know.
Great.
Thank
While
you.
we're on that topic of speed bumps, do we have alternative measures acting as if we cannot put a speed bumper cushion on a slope? What other options?
We
Yeah,
came
we
up with a
discussed that at
list
the last
We
meeting.
came up with 3 options that we sent to,
For Don.
and that's what
So
we're waiting back.
so we do have the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't here last night.
Yeah, it's okay. Good question.
Okay, so
Okay. And
there's
then I
some
have
videos?
Jim's videos.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, please.
These are not labeled, so we're gonna be
Yeah.
surprised.
Be surprised.
Uh-oh.
I don't think so. You have to go out to your neighbors. Oh, there's Mr. Dobbs. Here we go.
Share the screen so that they can see it.
Larry, you know what this is? All right. Technical stuff. Aaron? What you're doing?
Okay, the guy with the tape measure there, defining the thing, this was not finished yet, but it was in process and there was more pavement put down closer over there to try to make a sweep around that corner. The documentation of this thing in the beginning was, earlier this year, and, as, Larry stated, it becomes a bottleneck with the buses coming around the corner. People either have to back up, stop on both sides of the road, so it was a Band-Aid, but it got attention and, Jonathan pushed this thing through Clackamas County and got it done, and that was just, that's the best we could do, that's all I can say. So, you know, and doing something is better than not doing something, so more to
What's the
come.
Speed limit right there.
Mhm.
What's the speed limit on Coupland?
Well, that's on Coupland? Is it marked 40?
45.
Okay. What is the speed limit, Larry, on your street?
Is,
Yeah,
is
it's
there a
open.
sign on Lawrence? So it's 55.
No signs.
Right.
Mhm.
That's one of the dangers. You can see it. People pointing at, don't know if you heard those cars. going
Oh,
down.
yeah, there were,
Now, just starting to get into congestion now. And there, it is a Band-Aid. That telephone pole and that power box is gonna have to go, and they're gonna have to take 5 feet of that guy's property, build a ditch. And otherwise, the buses, I'm surprised they're not going in the ditch on the other side.
Yep.
So
They they swing so far into the other lane because they have to, you know, I used to drive a bus years ago. You have to go so far out before you turn to get the back end of that bus, not to hit something. So, yeah.
They're in the other lane. They get all into the other lane, you get in that lane.
Yep.
How many kids are on that road? Or if that's the only way that those kids can get picked up, but it just seems, I've been there for 35 years, it's getting bad. Right.
So was that the only video?
No, there's a second one. Lane had there.
Well, this is kind of redundant, I think.
Well, there's just the opposite side.
Oh, the
Did you do
opposite
the same
side
thing?
there. Okay. Yeah, gotcha.
That's the same corner.
Yeah,
Is it?
it
Okay.
is. It looks like the same
Okay.
thing I'm talking
It's
about.
the SUV that almost hit you.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we might go forward, Elena.
You
Thank
might
you.
want to,
Yeah, is there another?
you weren't a vet.
There we go.
Yeah. Originally on this thing, that was almost a 90-degree turn where that, the trap is there, the culvert, the drain is there, the vault. Those are new vaults. Then when they extended the, culvert. So before it was worse than it is now. I mean, it was, back wheels were in the ditch, car parts were there, broken culvert. So there was some kind of improvement. And this is over on Shafford. And, this is, yeah. 14-foot. There we go. Yeah, baby, slow down. That's good. I think we're good on that,
Yeah.
Elena.
Thank you, Elena.
It's just, kind of just not really. The fact is it documented, the thing works.
All right. Any other items for the Transportation Safety Subcommittee?
I just wanted to make a clarification. Earlier, when I was speaking to you, I spoke about the state and referencing the bridge on that corner. And for the clarification of that statement, I'm talking about like ODOT beings that it's a bridge and things like that. That's outside of us, right? You know, there's a lot of speculation. I would love to tell you yes and give you a timeline, but unfortunately, that's outside of what we get to make decisions on currently.
It's what, $5 or $7 million project?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
For the-
it's definitely been.
The bridge
The
is a
bridge.
$24 million
Oh, okay.
project.
See, there you
Sorry. There you go, Larry.
But regardless, it's not, that's not something you're waiting on for the city council or cities. That's outside of what we can control, and we do appreciate it. And one thing that I'll be curious to see is some of the road improvements made with the development that's coming. They talked about opening it up so that you'll be able to see going into that corner, especially on the top side there coming when you first get on Lawrence. So we're with you, man, and I appreciate you. This is not the first time you've come in here, and as you know, I'm on the city council, so I do hear you. I appreciate you, and please know that it's not falling on deaf ears, and that, you know, the more stuff you can bring to us with, just like you're saying, for clarification purposes, or even just to put it in front of us, so we can take a better look, you know, like hearing it's what matters. So I appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Larry.
All right, we're moving on to comments. Heath. Closing comments. Nothing?
Nope.
Jonathan?
No, I just want to thank you guys for your work. Sorry I was gone last month. I was on a hunt, I had a hunt of a lifetime, so that was pretty cool to get to step away for a week and take care of that. But I never got to say thank you to our veterans, our service members out there, because I was gone last month. But I just want to reiterate that it's not lost upon me that we just had that, Veterans Day. And then I also just want to continue to offer my support to the community and those out there that are struggling right now and going through hard times. Former Councilman Litkey and his family, my condolences and prayers are going to him and his immediate family and all those affected by that, including their friends and the members of this community that knew her, as well as the Nash family, as well as the CrossFit family, and the list goes on and on and on, unfortunately, this season, it seems like. So I would just like to encourage our community to stand strong and stay rooted in your faith and remain hopeful and vigilant and continue to be what you are, which is excellent, and was what makes us all so proud to be a part of this community. So thank you for your work that you're doing to help create that for this community and for what you've done and accomplished already on behalf of this community. So thank you.
Carrie?
The season we're in, it's a season of giving. A lot of people, as Jonathan spoke, been hit, hurt. And, we all have families. We have tight families. But it's good to kind of reach out outside your family to somebody, even if you don't know. Reach out to know There's a lot of hurt people in town, going through a lot of hard times. Just say, look beyond your own family and reach for somebody else's. Appreciate everybody here. Thank you.
Jim.
Thank you. And Councilman Metcalf, you were missed last month, brother. All right. I just want to take a few minutes and honor one of the original members of the Traffic and Public Safety Committee dating back to November 2022. As some of you may know, Brandy passed away over a week ago. She had such an amazing connection with the community in this committee, was able to solve and tackle many problems regarding the city of Estacada. Her fierce determination in caring for this community will be missed. Even after moving to Arkansas last year, she still was contributing to the Estacada community. Please help me honor Brandy today, and our prayers are with Joel and Riley. Just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Tasha.
No, I'm good, thanks.
Shirley.
No, I'm good. I really like to thank Jonathan for clarifying some of the stuff about around River Mill School, and hopefully we can work as a committee next year and get a lot more done. Merry Christmas.
As always, it's a privilege and an honor to work with this group. The individual strengths that everyone brings to this committee, it's been a very satisfying group to work with. And while we certainly have our disagreements, being able to talk through and actually come up with solutions, it is the list of accomplishments this committee has done over its tenure is extensive, and it's all geared towards what's best for this community that we all love so much. The last couple of months have really shaken up the universe, so to speak. And so I don't know a better way to put it. And so, echoing this community members' comments about supporting each other, supporting this community, supporting those that you don't know, it's so important, because you just can't do it by yourself. And so I don't mean to be somber, but it's kind of a somber thing. So thank you so much. It's been an honor and a pleasure to serve with this committee, and Merry Christmas. And with that, meeting adjourned.